So this panel came about, we were at, some digital, quite frankly, I was at a CMA event, and I thought, since the invention of papyrus, there's really not a ton of innovation going on in magazines, The internet came along, that was cool. This is way cooler, and you're going to see the difference. It's going to be great. Everyone was really excited about doing this panel, and then some people said, well, maybe it's too soon, it's only a month old. I said, that's the point, and everyone here is excited because no one can be wrong. It's so new. So, starting on my left over here, we have Dan Hinkie. He's the Senior Vice President of Digital Engagement for Meredith. Then we are fortunate to have Jim Meggs. Did I say it right? Meggs Field, Editor-in-Chief of Popular Mechanics. We have Sarah Chubb, who is the president of Condé Nast Digital. To my right is Brenda White. She's the Senior Vice President, Publishing Activation Director for Starcom. And to Brenda's right is Kirk McDonald. He's the President of Time Inc. Digital. But you didn't come to hear me. I'm going to turn this over to Nat Ives, and Nat is from Ad Age. He is the media lead and magazine reporter, so he's done the deep dives on this topic, and I'm going to turn it over to him.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Ron. Thanks, everybody. A lot has obviously been said about the promise and the potential of e-readers from e-ink onto the iPad and whatever comes next to save the magazine business if it needs saving. Now, though, we are, 6 weeks maybe into the reality of the iPad. The Kindle has come before, and there are other platforms out there and many more coming. So we thought it was a good time to talk. We've got a great panel. We're actually going to start off with a few demonstrations so you can see what has been achieved and what's running live since the iPad went live on April 3rd, I believe it was, and then we'll get started with our conversation. Just keep in mind that at the end we're going to start taking questions from you guys, so think of questions along the way, and when we come calling for questions, be ready. For the moment, we're going to start with Kirk, who's going to show us what Time Inc. has been up to.
I'm going to quickly walk you through a couple of things that are going on with Time Magazine in particular. It's obviously been the first title, the first property that we launched out on the iPad, and I'll walk you through it. So here's some of the learnings that we've gotten right away about the iPad. Time Inc. is sort of not looking at the iPad as better than, different than other platforms. We've always been a multi-platform company, recognizing that our consumers are going to look at our content kind of wherever and whenever. So being ready for all the platforms has been key or critical to our plan moving forward. So whether it's on a notebook, on the Kindle device, on smartphone devices, it's all been part of the strategy, and tablets is simply the next evolution of that. So there's no belief that there's some salvific power to any particular new platform, but the iPad or the tablet devices do offer a really interesting mix because they bring together a lot of the experience, the visual power of the magazine, as well as the interactivity of the digital medium. So we're pretty excited about that. Right now, we're making sure that we're prepared for all devices, not just this iPad device, because we expect that there's going to be kind of a really aggressive growth in this space. As Josh Quickner said, almost certainly in a few years, more people will be browsing the web via tablet than on even laptops and desktops, and we expect that and are anticipating that. There's been a lot of buzz around the iPad, so clearly this is the device of the moment. We've had a long history with Apple and with Steve Jobs. I'm really excited about being able to bring this to life on this device. So I'm going to jump very quickly into what we've done. We nicknamed this internally Project Noah, and again, trying to help with this light here. It was nicknamed Project Noah because we were given sort of 40 days and 40 nights to get this thing all figured out. And we had to operate really blind. So we didn't get the device to play with. We had a simulator on which we had to build it. And in that period of time, we came up with this expression of the digital property of our magazine. 2 navigational elements, magazine-like, left to right, as you turn pages, and web-like as well, as in that you go up and down to get in and out of stories. Later on, we're going to build more interactivity into the ad units that are available now, including longer video and up to multiple photos into the slideshows. So let me actually just let you
Let's check out the table of
check it
contents.
out.
Here are all of this week's stories. In the horizontal view is a more visual way of looking at what's inside. Let's go over to see who's being interviewed for this week's 10 questions. You can watch Alyssa Key's interview as a video or turn the iPad vertically to read it. You can pinch the type to make it bigger or smaller. Next, let's check out the cover story. You can swipe through additional photos inline or view them full screen. And to see what's happening right now, you can tap on the newsfeed icon to read the latest top stories across multiple categories, all powered by Time.com. Finally, let's check out the 5 entertainment picks of this week. Let's see the rest of this week's short list.
So just an example of some of the features that exist today. We've launched clearly a fairly extensive multimedia campaign around the launch of this. We had some select 6 partners to launch as advertising partners with this, and right now we're sort of moving into phase 2 of advertising opportunities, and we remain pretty excited and bullish on what we expect to happen in the tablet space. So I'm going to turn over to the next person. All right.